Nice. I'm live.
You're live with that face.
No, not facing that way. Hi, guys. How y'all doing today? Let me open up my stream here so I can see what y'all are saying if you guys decide to say hi. I know I'm doing kind of an early stream today, but I got reasons for that. We every so often we like to eat pretty good. Hey, Dreamy Genie, how are you doing? Well, I'm getting ready to tell you. I think most of my food is good. Most of the food that I cook on here is really good. But nothing compares to when I make ribs. I got 2 racks of ribs. I got my grill. I got my charcoal. And I got 3 hours. Can I do it? It's going to be a little bit of a long stream. But I think I can manage. See, look, guys, for all of you that have been hollering at me, sorry about the mess, for not having an apron, I got an apron now. What do you think? Manly enough? Oh, hi, babe. How you doing? Okay, so a lot of people don't know how to light a grill the right way. I don't even use charcoal lighter fluid. Thank you, Dreamy. I appreciate that. I don't mind it. Don't mind the electrical box. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just outside. So, yeah, she wants it to be pink with frilly unicorns and all this. Yeah, I even got man buckle on mine, So, okay. So, I am going to be doing ribs. So, this takes a little bit of preparation on my grill. And not a lot of people really know how to light a grill the right way anyway. So what I do is basically, I'm going to pour a bunch in right now. My bag broke. That wasn't supposed to happen. I'm going to use a lot of that anyway. Was not supposed to happen that way. But it's been raining like crazy out here and melting snow. And our backyard and our front yard are both lakes. So the bag, I guess, got some water on it. I wasn't expecting that to break like that though. Bloopers the first 5 minutes of the stream. What do you expect when you're watching my live streams? Come on. Okay, I'll use the rest of that later. So, what I want to do is I want to have a base of charcoal down here, but I want to build a pyramid in the center. Okay. Yeah, literally, it should see the pile down here. Charcoal right there. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. It happens when you're on live streams and stuff, and you're not expecting things to happen like that. How you doing, by the way, Shauna? Oh no, that's still Jamie. Okay, I thought I saw. Never mind. But yeah, it happens. Anyway, see, I don't use lighter fluid. You got one of these around because you're using it for other stuff anyway. Why spend like $4 or $5 on a jar of lighter fluid when this lights charcoal? I'm not using all those harmful chemicals. Nice. As it goes out on me. There we go. Stay lit. Warm that nozzle up just a little bit. And I can even drink my coffee on the other hand. This will work, I promise. That's how I do it every time. It may just be because it's cold. When it's cold, torches like this don't like to necessarily work all the time. Gotta warm it up a little bit, shake it, take it inside for a few minutes, but sometimes shaking it will warm that liquid up inside. There we go. Got a better looking flame on that now. Maybe. There we go. You just sit here, and like I said, coffee on the other hand. So how are you doing, Dreamy? How's the weather where you're at? It'll smell like burning wood because actually that's what charcoal is. Charcoal is wood that has been burnt and compacted down to a point that see if I can get this set in the right way. Sometimes I can just let it sit on the side. Voila! And it'll, after a couple minutes, I'll see that turning red and everything. Nozzle will get a little red too, but yeah, that's right. You're in Western Pennsylvania over there. You can already see the smoke coming up from that charcoal. It smells good. You know where we're at. We're just south of St. Louis, and we last weekend got about 12 inches in one day, and this weekend we're expecting another. They say at first they said like 12, and then they're saying 6, and now they're saying 3. So it just all depends on what the storm decides it's going to do. So I hope you have time to sit down and relax and watch how to make some ribs in 3 hours that are amazing. Yeah, it's like 35 out here right now. Yeah, I totally was not expecting that charcoal back to break like that. It just started falling out the bottom. I'm like, wait, it's going the wrong way. Not supposed to go that way. Yeah, it eventually does. You should see the swamp we have out here. Our plot is a little uneven, and it likes to uh, collect water. And oh, why not, Rinda? How you doing? I'm just playing with man toys. I mean, low torch, charcoal, grill, some ribs sitting over there on the table waiting to be eaten. Well, as soon as they get done. Doesn't look like it's going to light quite all the way. I just take a, and this takes actually about as long as after you spray charcoal fluid, lighter fluid all over it. You got to wait a few minutes anyway. This actually seems to be a little quicker. And like I said, you're not getting all those nasty fumes and crap from the lighter fluid. I don't like. And I'm using Kingsford. I actually there's a lot of people that are picky about their charcoal, and in a pinch, some off-brand will work as long as it lights and cooks the food. A lot of times that's what matters. But when you're trying to cook something really good and really flavorful, I like Kingsford. It gives off a really good flavor for it. So yes, I'm always cooking something. That's what I love to do. Oh, okay. Yeah, I love to cook. You don't want to see that anymore. Okay. I love to cook. And if I'm going to do a YouTube channel about anything, it would be about cooking. And I know there's a lot of people that uh, have YouTube channels about cooking and this and that. But when was the last time you saw the whole real deal about everything? Like, you saw the charcoal briquettes fall because they weren't even lit yet. This is start to finish. This is everything that could go wrong while cooking something. And that's anything I make. That's my baking, that's my grilling, that's my frying. And that's what I want to show you guys. Well, okay. I have a different way of doing things. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not using my blowtorch for anything else. So why not save the few dollars and the nasty lighter fluid odor and just light my charcoal with it, you know? I like to do things efficiently. Ah, okay, okay. Um, I want to do things in a way that shows people if you were going to do it, this is what could happen. Well, they have those starters, the electric starters. They have, the baskets that you put the charcoal fluid in, you put some paper underneath them like that. And I'm not using this for anything else, so I might as well, catch my hair on fire with it. No, light charcoal with it. I don't have any hair left to light, so yeah. I think it does too. And with the way I cook these ribs, the flavor of the fire is a lot of the taste. I mean, I put dry rub and then I put a wet, a moist rub on it, a sauce on it. But yeah, I think that'll work. I see it nice and bright red in there. So I'm going to let that smolder for a bit. You guys can't really see it, but you can see it's smoking and lighting up. And this stream isn't necessarily for the male viewers or the female viewers. Even if you're a female viewer and you want to make ribs, and you want to grill, this is how you can do it. I mean, I know I don't really kind of advance topic my stuff and put out notices, but I kind of never know what I'm going to make for dinner that night, and it all just kind of ends up, hey, let's have this for dinner. So I'm saying, okay, well, I'll do a live stream on it. And that's how it kind of ends up anyway. So if you guys see a live stream that you like and you want to go back to it and you want to watch how it was done, I'll be in there in just a minute. If you guys want to watch and see how it was done all over again, my live stream is right there, and you can see, you can follow the steps along and everything like that. I will be right back in just a minute, guys. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry. Whew. I had to run aside for just a minute. Okay, let's see here. So, I've got to let this smolder and burn up for a little bit. So I'll sit here and talk to you guys while I have a cigarette. I mean, it's not like I'm not near flame anyway, so I know it's the wrong kind of flame and stuff, but I'm going to be getting my hands kind of messy here in a minute. So you guys can see that this is still smoking and everything. And here, once it gets so many charcoals, briquettes, it'll actually start flaming up and stuff. It doesn't take very long. And I'll take you guys over here to my preparation table that I have. I made my own little preparation table over here. This is really cool. I had a countertop, and I had some shelving that I screwed into the countertop, and I screwed my countertop to my decking, so it's nice and sturdy. You know, this thing could withstand a, gale force winds almost, so it's pretty cool. It does. I got my 2 racks sitting here. I got my cookie sheet. I got my seasonings. I mean, it's, this wide. So it's a nice nice amount of space to be able to cook with and use as preparation for my grill, which is a Weber, sitting right next to it. I got my my tongs and spatulas and meat fork and everything. I'm going to be, putting spaces for them and hooks, so that I just did this like a week ago. So, okay, that's a secret. It's my secret recipe of spices that I put in my ribs. No, really, it's what I do with my ribs is brown sugar, onion powder. It's the same general spice mix that I use for pretty much everything, other than the brown sugar. Brown sugar goes really good on ribs and gives it a nice. It glazes the ribs really good and seals it in. So you'll see me put it all on, and you want to get it on everything, because on every side, because that sugar caramelizes and it seals all the juices into those ribs and makes them so good. But it's brown sugar, salt, pepper, a little bit of seasoned salt, garlic powder, and onion powder, and that's pretty much it. I use them in different proportions to what I'm cooking that day. But yeah, I had this container and I had some brown sugar in it, and I just used. That smells really good too. I just used the rest of the brown sugar that I had in there. It doesn't really look anything other than different. I mean, you see some the salt and stuff in there, but brown sugar you can keep indefinitely. If it hardens up, you just take and heat it up in the microwave in a container, really good, for a few seconds at a time, and try to break it up. But brown sugar doesn't have a real expiration date. They say it's like 2 years from the day it was manufactured or processed, but it's one of those things that you can keep forever, literally. So yeah, once I see some of these charcoal briquettes turning gray, I will actually start on my ribs. And some people don't take the membrane off. I like to, because it takes away that chewiness from that membrane, and I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty easy, and I'll show you the spice rub and how I do it all here in just a minute. But yeah, that table, the way it is. Hi Shayna, how are you doing? It's good to see you on. Haven't seen you in a little while. I'm doing my stream a little bit earlier because I need a little bit more time to actually cook what I'm cooking. But I'm doing ribs. Yeah. Like one of the best foods in the world, ribs, if they're cooked right. Now, I've had ribs that weren't cooked right, and you can tell they're not, they're gross. Okay, so I am going to go get some more coffee real quick. Give me like 2 minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Now you can quit talking about me behind my back now that I'm here. Okay, so you can see I've got some gray on my charcoal. It's smoking real good. Got that smell coming through. Should be good enough for a few. There we go. So, do not mind the mess on my porch. I'm in the process of kind of getting things re-cleaned up, and it's looking a lot better than it used to be. Okay, so here's my ribs. Here's my spice mix, my seasoning. And all it is, like I was saying a little bit ago, is it's brown sugar, salt and pepper, a little bit of seasoning salt, and garlic and onion powders. And I use them in most everything that I make in different proportions. If I'm making chicken, we like real flavorful chicken and stuff, so I use a little bit more garlic. If I'm making hamburgers, I put it in with the hamburger in different proportions and stuff like that. So it kind of varies widely. Now I've already cleaned off my preparation table, and this is what I like about this. But I think what? Oh yeah. Steak. You take a little bit of olive oil, preheat your skillet to pretty hot, and you sear it. Walk all those juices in. Well, it depends on the cut of steak. If you have one of those cheaper cuts, then it's best to lightly sear it and then broil it, on each side for a minute or two, depending on how you like it done. But that's what I like about this table. I can always clean it and sanitize it when I'm done. So I'm not getting my countertop all messy and stuff like that. Now these ribs are St. Louis style spare ribs, and all ribs are essentially the same, except they have all the same features. Some have a bigger cap of meat and bone on one side. It just kind of varies a little bit. I like these because these are the long bones instead of the short bones. Okay, with steaks in a cast iron skillet, if it's a better cut, if it's a more expensive kind of steak, what you want to do is take some olive oil, if a good steak, you don't have to season. Just a little bit of salt and pepper, kind of near the end, and it's good to go. The cheaper cuts of steak, you want to cook just a little bit longer on lower heat. That way they have more time to tenderize. And after they're actually done cooking, you want them to rest a little bit longer. But any steak you want to let rest. Any cut of meat you want to rest for 5 or so minutes. And what that does is when you cook meat, the proteins, instead of being like this when they're not cooked, when they're cold, they're loose. the proteins, when you heat them up and cook them, they go like this. Okay, well, after you're done cooking it, you let it rest, and those proteins have time to do this. Okay, and when that happens, when they're like this and they're uncooked and they're not hot, all those juices are all in there. Okay, but when they tighten up because they're hot, all those juices go and they leave. So what happens is when you let it rest, you always want to let a cut of meat rest for at least a few minutes after you're done cooking it, because once those proteins, you know, loosen up again, those juices will come in between those proteins and you'll have really juicy steak. Really juicy meat, period. Okay. So, yes, these are pretty well room temperature. Little bit chilled. I mean, not bad. I haven't had that much time. You don't want to shock a set of ribs by cooking it extremely hot from extremely cold temperatures. So you want to let it come to, you know, semi-room temperature. Hi, Marie. How are you doing? Okay. So ribs, a lot of people don't know this when they're cooking ribs. They have what's called a membrane. And what that is this is the top side, and this is the bottom of the rib. Okay? This is on this side, where the bone is right here, there's a membrane. And that membrane, all you do is you take a knife, or you can take a paper towel. I like to take a knife and use my hand because I can actually feel the membrane. Don't cut yourself. Oh, that would be a blooper, wouldn't it? You loosen that membrane up. Okay? Now that I have that membrane, I can grab a hold of it. A lot of people like to take paper towel because you can grab it easier because it's really slippery. Really slippery. I just like to take my knife in there and work it around underneath the membrane for a minute. Okay. It's partially off. That's the membrane. That's what you want to pull off there, because you're also going to pull off some of the fat, which is good. You don't want them too fatty. I only ended up getting half of it. And I have some time for this because I'm still letting my charcoal get to where it needs to be. Okay. There we go. There we go. And you want to get that membrane off as much as you can. Some people leave it on, and that's fine. I just don't particularly care for the taste of it. I like to be able to clean my bone, and the membrane you'll end up, you know, trying to take off anyway. So. And there's this cap of meat that you want to pull up. There's membrane under there as well. Now you can take the back of a spoon to try to get it if you don't like getting your hands, you know, on into the meat, you know. Some people don't like that feeling. But you want to pull this membrane off as much as you can off this meat if you're going to pull it off. Some people have a really easy time pulling the whole thing off in one fell swoop. There we go. Sometimes it takes a little bit of muscle to get it off. There we go. Ah, that's good enough for that one. Okay, I'll check on what you guys are saying here in just a minute. My hands are all slimy at the moment. There we go. There's that. There. Like I said, sometimes you have really good luck with pulling it. Other times it can be a pain in the butt for trying to get the whole membrane off. And if there's little bits and pieces of it, it's not going to harm anything. It just, I think, it gives a better texture to the rib if you pull it off. Okay. Now at this point, this is where you would cut any fat dripping, you know, extra fat off. I like to leave a lot of the fat on my ribs because I think it makes it juicier. But if you see like great amounts of fat, that's what you want to cut off. Like here, and you know, I got fat and I can pull it in between my fingers. That's what I'm going to shave off. Because I'm doing this in a reduced cooking time. Don't get me wrong, a lot of fat in ribs is really good because it makes it really tender and juicy. But I want to get some of this off. That way I know that I'm not going to have so much fat once it's done. Because it's not cooking so slow and so long that every bit of it melts off like it should. I want to leave a layer, which is what I'm doing here with this one. Okay, so got my ribs. Before I go in and clean my hands up, I'm going to take my spice mix, my seasonings, and I'm going to pick up the big clumps of the brown sugar. And big, large, you know, big amounts. You put all over the outside. Okay, and you want to get it all over. You want that whole rib covered. Okay, because these sugars in this brown sugar are going to caramelize, and it's going to seal in all those juices. You want to get them under that flap right there, and on top, you want to rub it in. That's why it's called a rub. Rub it all over. Okay. You see any that doesn't have seasoning on it? Get seasoning on it. Okay. Those are seasoned good. I'm going to go wash my hands real quick. If Ashley is still listening, have Andrew come up from the back door. That way I can get to the, you know, wash my hands real quick. Thank you, Bob.
Hello.
Close the door for 2, please. What, Ryan? Okay, I'm back. Now I'm going to wait for this charcoal to finish up. Then I'll prepare my grate. You guys see how that is turning a nice orange, ashy color? Well, I'm going to spread that around. I'm going to make a whole bottom layer. Oh, hey, Freaky Geek. How you doing, bud? I've been busy. As if you've been on for a minute, you saw what I was doing and stuff, so... Let me get on and see what you guys have said behind my back when you knew I couldn't see you. Oh, Freaky. Look at my new threads I got, bud. Got me an apron. No, not too cold out here. This grill going. Got it raised up a few degrees, so. Yeah, I was playing with the food for a little bit. Sorry, I'm having to go back 10 minutes or so. Okay, I think I kind of got the gist. You guys are just chit-chatting, and I love that. I love how you guys just chit-chat like that. Okay, so... No, you're fine. Got to roll my sleeves up for this one, or pull them up a little bit. So... I got my charcoal gray on some of them. See how nice and gray that is? That's really hot charcoal. Do not touch this with your bare hands. Do not attempt this without tongs. I just move them around. Take a pair of tongs and the ones that aren't gray yet, I toss in with the more gray ones. The ones that are half gray, I kind of move out because they're hot. Okay, so it's kind of spread out quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, they're, fortunately, they're not hot in that sense. Okay, so I'm going to let these enjoy and try to get a nice even temperature. Some of the hotter coals I'll put in right next to the ones that haven't really lit yet, or on top. That way the other ones can light up. Okay, and the reason I'm doing this, because I'm going to end up moving all these coals. When you do ribs, you want to kind of do a slow and low. The way I'm doing mine, if I were to have 6 hours, I would do what's called the snake. And all that is that's lining your coals up in a circle around the outside of your grill. You can line it up in like 2 or 3 rows. That way you light one side. Say you light this side right here, that when it's lit, that heat and that flame will, that hot charcoal will ignite the next charcoal, and it'll be a nice even temperature around one side of the grill. So now, but I'm not doing it that way, because that's not how I do it. Because y'all know me, and I don't do things the way everybody else does. Okay, so I'm letting my grill heat up. I know that's kind of scared you guys for a minute. I'm letting my grill heat up for a bit. I'm actually going to put the top on because I want that top to be hot too. So you guys can see my ribs over there. My grill is be ready in about 5 minutes. And a lot of people will say that is way too hot to cook your ribs. No, you'll see what I do. Yeah, don't you like my sexy apron? I'm rocking the stripes. It's the vertical stripes too, and it's supposed to be slimming. Do I look slimmer? Except for the gray patch of pockets right here. Do I look any slimmer, guys? Come on. The vertical is supposed to be slimming, aren't they? Or is that horizontal? I don't know. You can barely see me. How's this? Is this any better? Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? Is this better? Hello? Are you in there? So if you guys don't see this, I have, you guys can't really see that. Oh yeah, you can. A fair amount of smoke coming out. And that's what I want. I want my grill, I can't even touch the lid, it's so hot. That's how I want it right now. Yeah, pink with rainbows and unicorns, that's what she wants. She'll probably order me one too, if she can find one. She's probably actually right now looking on eBay or Amazon or something for something like that. Oh, talking about my eyes. How's that? How's that, guys? You like those sexy eyes? Sorry. I'm. Yeah, it's just the right one that you know that got her. The left one, not so much. So kids, this is very sharp. It's actually one of the set that my son got me for my birthday, I believe it was. This is a meat fork. This thing, I love this thing. I love all the utensils my son got me. It was a nice big Weber kit. And these work wonders for stuff like this. So, take you back to the grill because you don't want to see my wandering left eye. Okay, so a lot of people spend expensive money on a grill brush. I don't. I don't see the reason. So, scrape off my grill. Clean it off pretty good. Smoke gets in your eyes. Speaking of eyes, when you do this, all the little bits from last time you cooked or the time before or whatever kind of fall down in there and cook off. And see that flame coming up? Okay. So now, I'm going to take this extremely sharp, pointy grill fork or meat knife, and I'm going to toss my ribs. On the searing hot grill grate. These ribs are almost too long for my grill grate. Look at that. But not long enough. Still fits. You want to leave a little gap between them because you want air to get down in there. Now these are going to sear. And what this is doing is this is taking all that brown sugar that I had put on there. It's taking those sugars and it's going to caramelize them. When they do this, they're not going to shrink. Okay. When you know ribs are done, this right here, you see this side right here? Okay, you can see all those little bones in there. Those bones will stick out between 1/4 and 1/2 inch from the meat. But right now, this is all this is doing is this is caramelizing those sugars and sealing that meat. That's why you want this hot when you do this. Hey, Mo Man, how you doing, bud? So, take my rag and just kind of wipe off my table here. I don't want large amounts of stuff. I'm going to do this part. Okay. So I'm going to, while these are still searing, they're going to take a few minutes because it's a lot of meat. I'm going to lay down some aluminum foil on my table here. And I'm going to lay enough aluminum foil that when I take these off of the grill, I'm going to put them directly on the foil. Okay, so I'll turn them over. You guys see that coloring on that? That's what I want. That black or that brown, that's those sugars caramelizing on that. You can see that fat is loosening up. It's a lot looser. So I'm going to let this sit and caramelize and sear for a little bit. And one thing about a grill, if you have too much heat on one side, spin it. Yes, it does. What it does is the outside of the meat is going, the proteins are going to be like really tight together while it's cooking. Rather than the inside, you know, a little bit looser proteins, allowing the juices to stay on the inside rather than coming out in between those, you know, tightened up proteins. And while this is doing this, I like to spin my grate because you're always going to have, with charcoal, it's never perfectly even every time. So I like to turn it. And my flame's coming up because some of that fat is actually melting now. Okay. Turn it over one more time just to make sure. You won't starve. Now you won't starve. That is guaranteed here. I could, if you guys wanted to come take a road trip, you guys know I'm right outside St. Louis. My email's in the description if you want to email me. Okay, so I think that's seared enough. So you guys can see how this is browning right here. That's good. So I'm going to take this off. Look at that. Browning. You can't really tell. I'm going to turn my light on here just a second. I'm going to lay it right on the aluminum foil that I laid out. Okay, I'm actually going to flip it. Now, when you cook ribs, you want to have the fat side. I'll do it the other way. No, I was right first time. I'm recorrecting myself. Sorry, guys. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so my grill is still really hot. You guys see that? What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap, let's say, or my ribs. And the way I'm going to do that is the same size that I had. I'm going to take, cover the top with, on the sides, I know you guys know how to do this, I like to cover all the bases in case somebody doesn't really know. Okay, I'm going to put my lid on while I'm doing this, and I'm going to turn my heat down. The way you turn your heat down on one of these is there's these vents. There's a vent on top and there's a vent on bottom. And you close the vent up a bit. About halfway. And that way it will turn down the temperature in the grill because it's not getting so much air to feed a hotter fire. lot of people say when you wrap things like this, you want to, leave a little bit of expansion room and stuff. But I like that heat to get in these pouches and really stay in there. You guys see that it's not flaming up anymore. It's not as red. It's because I turned down the heat. And tuck it in. Make sure it's all nice and snug in there. Now, what I was saying is, you want to, when you put the meat in the pouch or on the foil, you want the fat side up, which is the meatier side, the fatter side, because that fat, when it cooks down, and when it renders, is going to go into that pouch, and you're basically going to kind of grill and parboil at the same time, because it's going to sit in that fat and it's going to cook and it's going to be really, really good. Because that's actually the best part of the rib, is the little bits of fat and stuff. So, got to go back into conversation again. Wow. Wasn't expecting to see that as soon as I looked at you guys again. Yeah, I see it took an ugly turn in here. Wow. Wow. It's getting a little dark outside, so let me see here. I will plug you guys back in for a few. I want to turn my light on. There we go. A little bit better light. This is, I got one of these shop lights hanging from the rafters here, and it lights up pretty good, so yeah. I can cook in the dark and see what I'm cooking. Okay. So I know you guys can't tell because it's too thin, but there's quite a bit of smoke coming out from the grill right here, and I can feel the heat. That's what I want. I like to feel the heat on the grill above it. That way I know it's at a certain temperature. If I can put my hand down, I know it's hot enough for this or that, and so I'm glad you guys are enjoying the conversation. And now it takes, it's 5:15. We'll be eating dinner about 7. It depends. I will turn them every so often throughout the process, and every so often I'll open them up and actually check and see how they're doing. And if I think they're close to done, yeah, about 2. This way, the way I do this, it takes about 2 hours. So, yeah. Because we don't like them overcooked. We like them cooked enough for them to be done. Ashley really likes the bit of fat that's still left in there and stuff. But I like to have about that much bone sticking out. And the bones you can just wiggle out of the meat a lot of times. Sometimes they're kind of stuck in there. Ribs that are overdone, they'll just fall out and the meat will kind of fall apart, which, yeah, that's good, but you want a little bit of tension on that bone. You want to actually pull on it rather than it just falling out, because that means the meat is overdone. There's kind of a fine line there. Now, I've sat in, on times that I have hours to be able to grill and barbecue things like this, the ribs will be better, like 10 times better than this. But there's not often that I can wake up at, wake up and have the grill and everything going at 9, 10 in the morning, or even earlier, and take that time to very, very slowly cook the ribs. And that way you get all the fat melted down. There's still fat inside of it though, and it's so good that way. But this way is even just as good. No, a lot of people can't. It does take a lot of time to cook some really amazing ribs. But this is kind of a quick way to be able to do some really good ribs. And I'll show you when I pull them off. I'll sit and let them rest while I'm going in. And I also have, I'm going to be showing you guys how to grill some asparagus and stuff like that. Once this gets closer to being done, I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, there'll be a lot more room over the coals. Actually, I'll cook the asparagus because it doesn't take that long to cook the asparagus. After I take the ribs off, I'll put those on. About midway through this process, I'm going to put more coals in. That way, it stays hot over the whole time. And you periodically want to toss some more coals in. I'll toss a few in right now, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's still... I'll wait. The hotter you keep your fire going, the more it's going to use the coals. So if you turn down the heat a bit, it's not going to use the coals as much. There is snow in the background over there and back here. Sunday, last Saturday and last Sunday, we got like 12 inches. And this weekend, we're supposed to get another between 3 and 6, depending on what they say. Yeah, that's what they were saying here too, Dreamy, but they ended up moving it up. It's going to be like in the 30s now. It was going to be, like their prediction yesterday was going to be 13. But keep it up your way, yeah. It goes where it wants to go, bud. That's cool. Yeah, those snowball fights can be fun. Wow, Monica. That's crazy. But that's up where you're at, though. So, I mean, now, when you're cooking these kind of things, you don't want to constantly be lifting the lid and things like that because that's going to reduce the temperature in the grill, which is going to reduce the temperature in the ribs and make them have to cook longer. So you want to wait, so often, only turn them and check them every just a few times while cooking them. So. All right, Freaky. You take care, bud. You have a good night. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Excuse me. I've had this cough the past few days, and it's been really nagging. But to me, my personal opinion is the flavor of the food is in the seasonings and spices that you use. And I think with the briquettes that I use and the way I cook it, it's not gonna have any effect if I dry cook it or wet cook it or whatever. Thank you.
Welcome.
Can you actually get me another cup of coffee? Dump this in the sink, fill it up, put about a spoonful and close to a half of sugar in it. Thank you, buddy. So I do use my own personally made rub, which I kind of explained before, but it's brown sugar. It's the main ingredient. And I put some things like garlic powder and onion powder and seasoning salt and pepper in it. And a little bit of chili powder, and because it offsets the sugary taste, the sweetness, the chili powder kind of offsets that a little bit, gives it really good flavor. And you don't taste any kind of heat because it's not enough compared to the amount of meat that you're cooking, because you spread it all the way across. I am going to okay, I want you guys to hear this. This is how quickly these things really start to kind of take some shape. I am a Coke drinker. I don't really like Pepsi unless I absolutely have to. I don't know if you guys can hear this or not, but you hear that sizzling? That's those ribs getting their cook on. Oh no! I mean, I know this has a sensitive microphone, but I didn't know how sensitive, if you could hear that or not. So. So, I'm going to drop a few more briquettes. Down in the one of the things you're constantly doing with this kind of thing is checking the fire. And it's not an exact thing every time. So you're constantly, you know, if you're on a grill like this, you spin your grate. It's pretty easy to do. Take your tongs or whatever and just toss them underneath. And anytime you take your lid off, it's going to, you don't have to spill it. Thank you, buddy.
Careful. It made the spoon hot to the point that it actually burned my skin.
Okay.
And some of it spilled on my skin and it burned.
Well, you gotta be careful, bud. It's hot coffee. But yeah, you're constantly making sure that it's going to be hot enough, but not like too hot to cook it before it's a constant check on. You're always maintaining the briquettes and stuff, but now you can see that smoke coming out. See that? That's how you know your stuff is cooking. So now it's kind of a waiting game. You sit out and monitor it and watch it and make sure it's not going to burn or overcook or undercook, and you pull them off at the right time. And now I'm losing viewers. Now this waiting game, all you guys get to see is my right eye. So now that I can actually talk to you guys, my screen is blank. Nobody's talking. Come on. Oh, you headed out, Shayna? Oh, that smells good. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, it generally does get dark here pretty quick. But it is... What time is it? It is 5:30 though, so... I've got to get some cough medicine. Yeah, but I have this nice video lighting right here, which is, you know, showing my aura. Wow. And the smoke rising up behind, you know. I try to make you guys laugh when I can. That tastes good. So yeah, like I said, now it's a waiting game. I will turn them about an hour in. But right now, the way I have the heat, yeah, we're an hour behind you. We're Central Time. Now that the way I have the heat and the way I have the setup, is it's a hotter heat than people normally cook ribs at, which is, and it could vary anywhere between 225 and 275. But the thing you're actually cooking the most, that's pulling most of the heat, is the bone. If you have the bone down toward the hotter part of the grill, the bone will actually heat up and cook more evenly with the muscle, the meat. So you're actually doing it a favor doing it this way. And I found that it turns out some really good ribs. I've got to get some cough medicine in me. I think I can take this hat off. Not really need it. Now you guys get to see my stunning right eye and my bald head. Or balding head. So what are you guys up to? Making your own. Making your own what? Oh. See, my wife loves me. She sits and watches my live streams. If I'm outside or I need something, cold medicine or cough medicine. So, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I think it might be a sinus thing. But I'm not really stuffy, though. That's the thing. It's just this cough, and there's been a lot of other people to get it too. My neighbor, and, you know, he's ended up having like bronchitis and real bad cough. You know, I think I kind of caught it from him because I was working with him, helping his brother move last 2 weeks ago, something like that. And his brother had it, gave it to him, and I ended up getting this cough, and who knows. I think I'll be okay. I mean, it's just so far, it's just been an annoying cough. You guys see the smoke rolling? That's what I like about this type of thing, because no flame, just heat. That's the one thing you want to make sure is you don't want any flame while you're cooking these. Flame is too hot, and it will scorch wherever the flame is at underneath the rib. It'll scorch that part of the rib. But that is one plus about having the bone side down when you cook, because it will, if it scorches, you're not eating that part. So it's just heating up the bone better. I mean, it'll be black, but so who else is in here with me? I think Monica, you're still there. I know my lovely Ashley's still there. Oh, old man's there too. Oh, that is Jamie. Okay. I get. I don't know if you guys have ever live streamed with your Android phone or iOS phone, whatever, but I have an older phone that I use to do my streaming, and I get my comments to pop up on the side of the screen here, and after a couple seconds, it goes away. If somebody comments, it pops up. If after a couple seconds and nobody says anything else, it goes away, so that I can see what's going on, but I can also see the comments. Sometimes that's a good thing, so I can see what I'm showing you guys, but it doesn't allow me a lot of time to really read the comments. That's why a lot of times I sit and watch my phone or whatever if I'm doing a live stream inside and cooking. But yeah, I'm out back. Yeah, you guys haven't seen what I have on. All you see is my hoodie and my apron. Oh, Jamie, she gonna be okay? Strokes aren't ever fun for somebody. But yeah, I'm out back. We have a much bigger porch. We actually have a deck outside back. The front deck. I mean, it's a deck, but it's more like a small porch. It's a little entry porch. Probably 8 foot by 8 foot, maybe 10 foot, 8 by 10, something like that. And I was growing out there for, since we've been here, which will be a year in March. But I finally got the deck cleaned up enough that I brought my grill back here and was able to, have my grilling table and everything like that. So, well, see, now I can't do that because she's watching this and she would expect that now. So I can't scare her. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Strokes aren't ever fun for somebody, and I feel sorry for anybody that does end up having one because it can really, really, depending on how bad it is, really mess up your life. Well, so far, the cough syrup seems to have worked because I'm not coughing. It's just generic daytime severe cough. Yeah, but I don't have any whiskey. We don't really drink. I'm not a drinker. Ashley's not a drinker. She can't drink. Since she had her surgery, if she were to take a drink, um, I think a shot would like overdose her on alcohol. Yeah, I hear how loud they are. They are being extremely loud, and uh, they're not going to get any ribs. They're going to end up eating cereal for dinner if they don't calm down. We ended up getting our nephew again. He always wants to come over and spend time with us. We have him until Tuesday. We got him today. So Well, I am the one cooking them, so I can tell them they just burned. I'm not smoking them. I am barbecuing ribs, and they're St. Louis style ribs. They're a little bit different than baby back ribs, the cut of the meat. And I'm doing what I call my quick grill. It only takes about 2 hours from once I get them on the grill, started searing and everything, to the time that they're done. So they're a rather quick rib, but they're extremely good. A lot of people will say, well, you're more than invited, Mo Man, because we'll probably only end up eating a rack and a half at the most. I'll eat a half a rack. My son will eat a half a rack. Ashley will eat maybe 2 ribs. And Ryan will eat maybe 1 or 2. But yeah, seriously, if you're only 2 hours away and you ever want to come up and visit, man, you're more than welcome. Just send me an email. My email is in the description. Oh, pellet grill? Yeah, those things are terribly expensive. They'll be perfect amount for you. And we're having grilled asparagus and some mac and cheese because the kids love mac and cheese. So, well, shells and cheese. I don't get the mac and cheese anymore. Eating the shells and cheese is just light years beyond regular mac and cheese. So it's like you're eating rich people food. Almost, you know. You go from regular nasty macaroni noodles to the shells. Oh, those green egg grills are, I've seen those, and those are supposed to be some really good grills, but they're outrageous in price. I should see if I should email them and see if they would sponsor my channel. Good luck to me, huh? Well, yeah, I end up turning these about between 45 minutes and an hour in. And, well, I'd say more along the hour line. I turn them and kind of let them cook for another 45 minutes. And then I baste them with barbecue sauce and pull them out of the pouches. You guys will see that. And what that does is, to me, because the charcoal will have been mostly used up by then, it's not going to be so hot, so it's not going to burn things. The ribs will end up kind of be falling apart on me, but I do that way because I like the way the barbecue sauce actually sears into the rib when it cooks directly on the grill. So still lots of heat and lots of smoke coming out. You guys can't see it, but I can. So yeah, but sponsors would be a good idea. I know you said that a minute ago, but sponsors would be a good idea, but I don't have that many subscribers on my channel for a company to look at my channel and say you would be a good person to be a sponsor, because there's not that many people that would come on my channel and watch. So in order to do that, I'd have to get a lot more subscribers. And right now, I don't know why things just aren't going that way. I've been doing a lot of live streams and stuff. I think because I need to put out more actual videos, which I'm planning on one of these days doing. I got this computer, right? And it's a damn good computer. A friend of mine, I helped him move a couple weeks ago, and he gave me the computer. It's a tower, and he's going to give me the keyboard and mouse to it. But it was, the way it was set up before is it was networked with others, and it didn't really need a video card, and it had several monitors and stuff like that going on with it. And what ended up happening is I think it kind of wore the video card out. So using it as a single display to get things set up and various things like that, it's a lot better than using a laptop to try to edit videos. It's going to be. I've got to get a different video card for it, or find drivers that'll work for it, because the screen size and video card aren't working right. As soon as I do that, as soon as I get that computer up and working, I mean, it's working. I was able to get, new operating system on it and stuff like that. But as soon as I'm able to really get that thing going the way it needs to, because for video, I didn't have any use of the video card. It was just basic. So as soon as I get that up and going and have the video card in it and be able to use it, I'll be able to use the editors that I use for making videos and stuff like that. So okay. Oh, those GoPros are amazing cameras. They're so small. I mean, they're like that big. And they're, what is it like? Isn't that 4K? I've got to, I imagine you've got to have a massive memory card on that thing. One thing you do need is you need to, if you're going to be making actual videos, you need to learn how to use video editing software. If you don't know how to use video editing software, I'm going to plug another channel that's some good friends of mine, and that's Two Family Homestead. It's Sherry and Daryl, and they're in Iowa or something like that, Ohio, one of those states. But every Monday they do a video, a live stream with a guest on, and then every Tuesday, I believe it's 7 or 8, maybe 8 Central Time. They do a video or a live stream where you can sit and ask questions and talk to them about editing videos. They generally use Filmora, but Daryl is very versed in computers and editing, and can use and give tips and help you with any software that you use, that you choose to use. Um, he's he's really good at that stuff, and I've even talked to him about a few things about trying to. I've helped him a little bit. He's helped me a little bit, and they're just great people. So if you want to learn how to edit videos, I'd go on his streams on Tuesday nights and watch his Filmora stream. And like I said, you can talk to him about any editing software other than just Filmora. So I can't believe it's not even 6 o'clock yet. When you want something to go by a little faster with time, it never happens. You just want time to go, and it just doesn't. You guys can't see it because the light. Let me see. Let me see if I can adjust this light a little bit to go that way. Oh, you guys can see the smoke coming out of the grill a little bit. Maybe. No, that's not really going to work out very well. It's like really bright in my eyes. Yeah, it's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to show that. But yeah, it's still smoking and stuff like that. So if you're losing interest, I apologize. It's just a waiting game. So I sit and chat with you guys, and when it's like that, when I'm letting something cook or bake or whatever. So but I like to do these live streams start to finish. And no matter how long it takes. This is gone, this is on for 2 hours so far. And I enjoy being able to sit and talk to you when I have the time. Well, good. I'm glad you're not losing interest. I've just gone from 8, 9 viewers down to 3 now. So I figured, some people lost some interest, had other things to do, and I understand that. And that's why some of these videos, would be best if they were split up in actual video that they could sit down and watch. It was only like 10, 15 minutes. But right now, I don't have very many editing capabilities until that computer gets up and running. So that's why I do the live streams. And I like the interaction. I was thinking of some of my videos I was going to do, like where are those? The promo videos that they got going now. So and there's going to be other things that I'm going to end up doing. There's going to be, I want to be able to start working on the house again. I'm going to do some renovation videos to show how to do this and that. Because I don't just cook. That's why, I kind of named my, my stream, my channel The Googler, because I do more than just cook. And lately, months, for the past few months, it's been cook. And I'm sure you guys would like to see some other things. I can relay floors, I can, move walls, I can do a lot of stuff. I know how to drywall and paint and, plumb and do electric, and I just haven't had the ability or cash flow to be able to get the stuff that we need to be able to do some of the renovations that we need. I need to put a new floor in our bathroom, which I want to do a bunch of videos on the renovation of our bathroom because we moved in here and some things needed fixed and stuff like that. This place was a gift from her sister, and it's very, very much appreciated because we were living in the city where we didn't like living, and we'd helped her with some things, so she helped us out, and it was kind of a but there's some. I mean, it's we live in a mobile home, and which I know a lot of you guys, a lot of people do that are on YouTube and stuff like that. But some of the floors were given in, and bathroom floors given in. It's not like it's falling through, I mean, there's no like big holes in the floor or anything like that, but it's just weak spots where it needs replaced because one day you could fall through. And I've just got to get like plywood and boarding to be able to redo it, and we haven't had the cash flow or money to be able to do it. So we ended up running into a little bit to be able to help us remodel, fix things up. We're getting a new van. A friend of mine, the one that gave me the cough, that was helping move, he's got a decent little van for a few $100s, and that's going to help us out because our van, I think, once I replace the head, and what I really think is when it gave out like that and water got into the cylinders, things rusted rather quickly and decided to seize things up. That's what I really think happened. That's my personal opinion, but it may be just, it could be the starter going out, could be a myriad of things. I don't know. But I spent I spent a lot of money and time trying to fix it. I wanted to do it right. I've never, other than being in a shop, I've never really, done something like that in a driveway. So it was kind of a shade tree mechanic type thing that I did, and I did a good job on replacing the head, but I think the water getting the cylinders locked things up. So we're going to sell that for scrap. We're going to have somebody pick it up. I'm going to look on Craigslist or something and have somebody give us $100 or something dollars or $200 for the van. And we got this other van coming. So, I mean, it's an older van. It's got a few more miles, but it's in perfect condition. There are almost all highway miles. It's been owned. Everybody that has owned it has been known by the person who currently owns it, and it's been well maintained, and it's got it doesn't even have check engine light on. Anything that's broken down on it or anything that needed fixed or replaced has been fixed or replaced. Right now, currently, the reason it's sitting and only he's selling it for kind of cheap is because it's older. And radiators are extremely easy to replace in vans like that. It's a little '98 Dodge Grand Caravan. You take out a few bolts and take off the hoses and put the bolts back in, and I mean it's pretty simple. So it's been on cooking for about 45 minutes to an hour so far. About 45 minutes. I'm going to give it a few more. Yeah, it is too cold to be walking right now, but I've done a lot of it. Yeah, I've done a lot of walking. There's a gas station and Dollar General about 3/4 of a mile from us that I walk to every other day at the least. Sometimes it's every day. Walk to Walmart, which is 2.5 miles away. Take a lift back, Lyft, Uber type thing back. We've been doing a lot of that. It's cheap and it's easy to do. So, and it's a great ride to have. I mean, it's really convenient, and a lot of the drivers, who drive for Lyft, are really nice. I've had one bad experience. That was actually yesterday. So, well, Uber, I prefer Lyft. You get the same drivers, the same cars, and it tends to be $1 or $2 cheaper. I mean, at least for my ride that I take to go to, to get to Walmart and all the little shopping places that I need to. Um, the average cost is like $10. It's like 2.5 miles away. It saves me walking an hour to, 45 minutes to an hour to get there. And I walked through snow to get to Walmart one day, like 10 inches of snow. Um, so, yeah, it's really easy. You get the app. You can see where all the drivers are at. If anyone's close to you, it'll be quicker. If they're a little further away, um, you know what? I don't care. Bye bye. I don't tolerate disrespect on my channel, and it's boring because I'm waiting for something to finish cooking. So I'm chatting with my viewers that are respectful to me. If you were here earlier in the video, you would have seen I'm cooking 2 racks of ribs, and I'm showing you how to do it the quick way. But yeah, some of them are really nice people. They help you out. If you have groceries or bags and stuff, they because they earn a lot of tips. That's how they make most of their money. So they're all about trying to help you, trying to earn that extra little bit of tip and stuff like that. So, and they're nicer cars. The one bad experience I had was yesterday, and Ashley and Andrew were with me, and we were going to Walmart, and we got this guy. He was, yeah, I don't care about people like that. They can sit here and watch and be bored, or they can kind of watch from the beginning and see what I'm actually doing. And actually, right now, I'm taking some time and chatting with you guys about whatever subject you want. And I appreciate that, guys. I really do. I only have a few viewers on here at a time. I don't have near as many as some of the big channels, but I try to provide a decent little service for you guys. If you guys will ever want to know how to cook something, like I said, my email's always going to be in the description. Email me. Let me know what you want to see made. And I know some of you guys were asking for some no-bake cookies and stuff, and I'll do that. They're pretty easy to do. So, but my quick little deal about the Lyft ride that I got yesterday. We were riding to Walmart, and generally, and I'm not saying that everybody's like this or anything. I'm not against people who aren't American or anything, but this guy was driving for a service that you have to communicate with people, that you have to be able to show some customer service. And he was, I don't know what nationality he was. He didn't speak a lick of English. And he sped the whole way there, 10 miles over the speed limit the whole way. He would slam on his brakes, not far behind another car in order to stop at a light or wherever he needed to stop. And it was kind of a rickety van where he had to put a neutral or else it would there'd be a really loud vibration. And that was the one and only time. And after your ride, you can leave reviews and tell them, hey, how your ride was, or if you had any problems or issues. And if you did, they'll dock that driver. And after so many complaints, they'll tell the driver, hey, you can't drive anymore because you're having too many complaints. So it's better than a taxi service, I think, because it's a little bit cheaper. There's times where you get discounts because you ride so much, or you get free rides if you refer friends, or you get, gifts for, certain amounts towards your ride. Or like yesterday, got a free ride because I had a ride, where I had $15 worth of ride and it was on a $10 ride, so it was a free ride. And just various things like that. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I am going to turn these babies. They've been on for an hour. I'm going to take my light and kind of show you guys. I'm going to shine it that way. Oh, I can. Get off my hook here. There we go. I think that might be a little better for you. Figuring out how to angle this light a little bit. Now you can see the grill on my table. There we go. Okay, so far they've been cooking about an hour. I'm going to open one up. I want to see how they're doing. You guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see, there's still quite a bit of charcoal left in there, which is nice and hot. Oh, look at that. Look at that steam come out of there. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but these bones are already coming out. So I'm going to pull it. I kind of ripped my foil. Doing it that way. But I'll show you guys real quick. Take you off here. So you guys can see that the bones are already coming out, which shows that they are cooking very well. They've been seared. They have a nice coating on them. The bottom side of them, I'm turning them anyway, so you guys can see that, right? Hope you guys can see. Oh, look at that. Look at that, those bones sticking through. That's how it's supposed to look. And that other one is the same way. So I'm just going to turn it. Look how that's cooking. You see that coloring and everything like that? That's cooking really good. So that's really good. And I'm sealing it really good because I want that steam to stay in there. I want them to okay. So now that that's that way, I'm going to spin my grill again. There it goes. And I'm going to cover it back up. Hope you guys saw that coloring and stuff. I have to look and see what you guys said. I said saw something. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. And on chops, huh? You really think I'm at that level? I don't think I'm at that level. I just kind of do this for, you know, my family and for you guys to show you. And Ashley wouldn't do cooking videos. She wouldn't feel comfortable doing stuff like that. I mean, she's a great cook when she cooks. But she leaves it to me because she knows I love to cook. So, don't you, babe? So yeah, that's how it's looking so far. And no, it's not going to be long. I'd say, well, like I said, these will be done. I was pretty much perfect with timing with what I said. They'll be done about 7. It's 6:15 now. And so they're going to cook on that side for about 45 minutes or about 30 minutes. And then I'm going to put barbecue sauce on them. And I mean, I'm just going to slather them in barbecue sauce because that's the best way to do it. And I'm going to take them out of the wrappers. That way, when they're covered in the barbecue sauce can actually kind of sear into the meat. Oh, I wanted to add some more charcoal to that spot. If you guys weren't here in the beginning, see, this is why I like to do live videos sometimes, because you never know what's going to happen. And it's been really rainy and wet here, so I went to pick up my bag of charcoal and kind of pour some in, and the bottom ripped out because the bag got moist and couldn't handle the weight of the charcoal. So I'm just picking up charcoal off of my deck that I'm going to have to clean off anyway. So sometimes, if you're lucky, which I hope I am, if you need to, because I want to kind of redistribute my heat, and you do it the right way, Get some of those coals you just put in lit with the hot coals. There you go. It is amesonline.net. AMESONLINE.net. I'm going to leave the lid off for a second because if you do that, those coals are going to get more air and they're going to heat up, and it's going to heat up those coals that I just put in. And here in just a minute, I'm going to put the lid back on, let it cook for about another half hour. Made everything too hot. You really like that heat, don't you? It is getting pretty chilly out here, but I don't mind. I'm having fun talking to you guys and cooking these good ribs. Okay. Yeah, that should be good enough. Lid back on. Those ribs soak in that heat for another half hour. But you guys saw how those bones were sticking out like that, and that means that the fat in the meat is rendering off. And when the fat renders off that meat kind of shrinks up and just becomes really good. I don't know any other way to say that. That's you want those bones to stick out. And when I pull them off, I'll show you guys how easy. I mean, they'll be easy to pull out. There's going to be a little tug with the bone, but they'll be really easy to pull out. So how do you guys like your ribs? There's a lot of ways to cook ribs. There's dry rub. There is wet, which is barbecue sauce. There is different types of barbecue sauce. What do you guys like? Do you like the Carolina type barbecue sauce that's really vinegary? Yeah. Do you like the dry rub? Okay. Got a dry rub fan. You like the St. Louis style, which is little bit of heat to it. Do you like the Kansas City style, which is more of the tomato thicker sauce? Okay, yeah. Any specific sauces that you like? Speaking of sauce, I need to run in. I'm not using the sauce I normally use. I kind of picked up some barbecue sauce at the store. It was only like $1 a bottle or something. We needed it one day, and I'm just going to end up using it. So I need to run in and get that. Give me just a minute. I'll be right back. this is what I picked up. Just some Kraft Sweet and Smoky. It's actually pretty decent sauce. So. Normally I use Sweet Baby Ray's, which is really popular around here anyway, so. Got some pretzel sticks while I was in there. So what are you guys up to? Just hanging out, being bored? Okay. Well, were you talking about the eating really hot peppers and hot spicy stuff? I don't know if you guys heard or whatever about this, but YouTube is now banning extreme things like different challenges and stuff like that that could hurt somebody. They're banning things like that. Oh, okay. So how's Carrie been doing lately, Jim? The lovely wife. Yeah, I love pretzels. Pretzels are so good. So, if this works out, I'm showing you guys a really good way to be able to make ribs in just a few hours. So, I mean, literally from start to finish, it'll be about 3 hours. Because I've been on 2.5 hours, another half hour. Oh, we like the soft pretzels with the cheese inside of them. Those are really good. Okay, so I think I ended up closing my bottom bin a little bit too much. I think I closed it all the way. Now I got smoke coming out. So I got a couple what seems like learned fellers in here, learned people. What's y'all's opinion about the government shutdown lasting so long? And no, my cough is not due to this. It's because there's cough going around to lots of different people. Our nephew Ryan has one. Everybody's got one. Yeah, no, it's just a cough. The back of my throat's itchy. So I'd say another half hour at most. Still got nice, good heat coming out in the vent. I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys can't see that smoke coming out, can you? Oh well. I thought you were going to be here in a little bit, Mo man. Where are you at? You on your way? Told you I'm going to have another half a rack. That's just going to have to be saved for later. Are you able to smell those on the inside of the house, sweetheart? Well, thank you. You seem to be a pretty awesome fella yourself. I sure appreciate you being a subscriber and active viewer. But yeah, anytime you're in the St. Louis area, let me know. I'd love to meet a viewer. That would be really cool. Show you around St. Louis a little bit, some of the sites, do a video of it, you know. Oh, okay. Okay. I do have one condition, Jamie, about sending food, is that I have to get at least the postage, and it has to be earmarked for postage for chicken or postage for whatever. I don't think it would send very well in the mail either. I mean, it might, but it'd be cold. Oh yeah, that's only half an hour away, if that. Right up 270. Next time you're up here, give me an email. Send me an email. Okay? And I'll give you my phone number. And we can chit chat and come down. You know, see Arnold a little bit, which is where we live. You know, kind of a small city, but and would love to meet you. Okay. That's just right down the road from our in-laws. Ashley's parents. we're up in St. Peter's, you know, often. I mean, not often, but because we don't have our vehicle. But as soon as we get this van next week, we're going to be up there quite a bit. We'll be right down the road. But yeah, it'd be really cool. Do you ever like to cook? I know you like watching my streams, but do you ever like to cook? Maybe I can get a viewer to visit and do a live stream with you, and you show me how you cook something, you know, something you like to cook that night. That would be cool. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, send me an email, bud. Yeah, we need to do that. That would be really cool. Good. Like I said, my email's in the description, so. These are smelling so good. Some of my foils, some I've done a little bit. I'll make sure that it's nice and sealed. What I do sometimes is I'll shake my grill, and that'll get a lot of the ash off the coals. And it'll allow the coals to heat up rather than being coated in the ash and stuff like that. So but yeah, that would be awesome. What kinds of things do you like to cook? What's your favorite food? Mexican or Italian? Okay. One of the things I've done a live stream of before is a quesadilla burger, and it's basically, well, if you go look, it's one of the first videos I did. If you take a burger and you take a big tortilla, you can either, you know, kind of. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can either do like 2 tortillas, or you can do a really. I saw at Dollar General. I was up there the other day, and I saw they had these gigantic tortillas. I mean, they're like this big, and I mean that would work perfect for a quesadilla burger. That would, I mean, or we do cheese tacos, and that's a cheese shell for a taco, which is really good. Oh, I appreciate that. I really do. That means a lot to me, my man. That really does. But yeah, that's just stuff I've put on streams or videos and stuff. I mean, that's not near what I cook for the family, and, without, recording it. Hold on. I'm gonna plug this in again real quick, just to make sure. I don't know. No, 44. Okay. So yeah, about another 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna let these cook. Some good heat coming from the vent. Warm my hands up a little bit. You guys could hear the kids in the background. I'm sure they're running through the house, having fun. The nephew, he's 5, and he begs to come here all the time. He just has a lot of fun. Just to change the pace for him from where he lives, you know. He lives with his mom and his grandparents. Yeah. See, I really like that too. I've never really done that because to me, it just seems a little tedious taking all those little smokies, wrapping bacon. It just seems a little tedious. I've just never done it. But yeah, that would be good. I love bacon and we love little smokies, so. So, here in just a couple of minutes, I'm going to be taking these out of the packaging that they're in, that I have them in, to basically steam cook and kind of parboil or whatever you want to call it. But right before, I'm going to kind of redo my fire because I have some asparagus that I'm going to grill as well. So as soon as I take those off, I'm going to put the asparagus back on, or on. But I have to cook these over, you know, some open fire with the barbecue sauce on them. So I've got to build an extra fire because this is cooked, you know, this is burned for so long that it's burning down and things like that. So I want to make sure I have a nice hot fire for what I'm getting ready to do. So I got my blowtorch again. Maybe I get the blowtorch out, I'll see this viewer count go back up. So. Let's go. Put it over the vent, it'll heat it up. Cornbread salad. We're not big cornbread eaters, but I could do a cornbread salad. I could figure that out. See, all I do is, you know, like I've told you guys in lots of videos, is I Google whatever I'm getting ready to make if I don't know already how to make it, you know, from scratch. And even if I do, I'll Google it and show you guys this is exactly what I'm doing. I'll tell you the website I'm on and stuff like that. I can't, you know, because of copyright and this and that, I can't actually show you the recipe, show you the site. But I can say, okay, this, you know, this is the site that I'm going to. It's just a general Google search. Anybody can do it. You know, as long as I'm not actually showing the site, I'm not breaking, you know, any copyright or anything like that. So that's how I do it. You know, that way you guys can go on yourselves and see what I'm doing. You know, whatever website, you can see the exact ingredients and stuff like that. There's times that I'll make stuff in, I'll just say, I'm looking at this recipe, blah, 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 and this is what this, there's so many recipes that are exactly the same on so many different websites. Nobody knows what website I'm actually on, so as long as I don't say it or try to broadcast it, then it's fine. YouTube's cracking down big time on like copyright infringement and this and that. And luckily, I haven't had any copyright breaks, which is good because I'm not doing anything to break copyright. But I don't want any strikes, so. And you generally get strikes on things like regular videos, and I haven't done a lot of those. I mean, I have, but if you guys can't see what I'm doing, I'm heating the propane up in my torch a little bit, because if you don't, I'm just putting it over the heat of the vent. If you don't, it won't burn right. And I gotta light some more charcoal. So just gotta warm it up a little bit. Well, see, one thing we have to be careful of is Ashley is allergic to a few things. Onions is the major one that she's allergic to. So we can't use green onions or onions of any kind. I can use onion powder. See, she's allergic to the oils in an onion. It'll make her swell up and break out, and her tongue will swell and her throat will close, and it's not a good situation. It's like an immediate, you got to have Benadryl or else we're going to the ER type thing. So I get around with using like onion powder and onion salt and stuff. Onion powder, I don't like to add any extra salt if I don't have to. So, yeah, we don't like ricotta either. And yeah, that would be scary. Like I said, if you don't say anything, think for a second or two, it goes away after a second. So, oh, we love mushrooms. I actually made homemade pizza the other night. If you guys were on, yeah, you guys saw that. That was so good. You guys have no clue. Ashley, we were sitting down and eating, and we're never ordering delivery again. We're always making it homemade. Okay. I mean, it turned out to be amazing pizza. Okay. Yep. It's about that time. Fire's dying down. So this is what I'm going to do. It's a little too hot for me to grab. So I'm taking my scraper into one of the handles. It's got these edges on it, which are really handy because I can grab that and not let it fall. Generally. Gotta be careful with it. Okay, so I'm gonna take my briquettes that are still in here. There's quite a few, so I'm not gonna have to add any more. I just have to get them hot again. I mean, they're hot, but they're not like the way I want them to be. So I'm just kind of building a pile, kind of gathering them all together. Nice blowtorch, yeah. I'm just kind of relighting it. They're already hot. They're already, fired up, but this will give it a little extra kick. That way it gets to the heat temperature I want them. And if I sat here, let it kind of heat up with the lid off, and them all bunched up for about 10 minutes, they'd kick back up. But I don't want to waste that time because my ribs are off, and they're cooling as they're off. So I want it to heat up back up as quick as possible. So I take a blowtorch to them, and they, in just a matter of a few minutes, you get some fire back to them, you get some good heat back to them, and those briquettes that haven't burned yet, they'll start burning. See the smoke coming up. There's a lot more smoke in my face and coming up than what it shows on the camera. I'm sure you guys know that about grills. I already see some flame over here. Just a second though. Oh yeah, I'm going to be going in while these are cooking with the barbecue sauce on them. Sorry, I didn't see your question while I was doing this. I got some asparagus that I'm going to show you how to grill. Really easy to do. Just toss it in some, if you like onion powder or whatever, just toss it in some onion oil. Sorry, olive oil. And sprinkle a little bit of onion powder or garlic powder, or just a little tiny bit, not much, just enough to kind of give it a little flavor. And that's one of the main reasons I want to get this hot again. And while I'm in there grabbing the asparagus, I'm going to toss some water on to boil because I'm making some shells and cheese for the boys. So, okay, you guys can see flameage again. See that fire going a little bit right there. Oh, there. Let that flame up for a minute. You can see how cold it is in my breath. That could just be the hot air coming out of my head. And if you're watching, you probably laughed at that too, didn't you, Ashley? Okay. I'll spread this back out. All these sparks coming out. It's so wet around here. Nothing's going to be a fire hazard or anything. That's not an issue at all. Okay. Okay, so got my flameage back. Saw somebody said something. What'd you say? Okay. So I'm going to put this back on. Now that that's hot again, I'm going to run in, grab my asparagus. This is going to be warm. I mean, it's going to stop it from doing its cooling down thing for a second. We'll run in, grab the asparagus, toss my water under boil. I'll be back out in 3 minutes. Okay. Okay. Got some flamage going. I don't want that much. I'm back. I'm sorry about that, guys. I had to grab some stuff. Okay. So I hope you guys can see me. It's fine, yeah. Oh, he's scared of the dark. Okay, so I've got some asparagus, guys. This stuff is really good grilled. And I know you guys know what asparagus is, so I don't have to go into like great detail or anything. But take the rubber band, one of the rubber bands off. Take your knife, top about the bottom third or quarter off. Okay, now you got your actual asparagus. I may cut a little bit too much off, but it'll be okay. You take, I got a big pink bowl, I know. See, this is the girly part, okay? You may not have a pink apron, but got a pink bowl, okay? So, I got some olive oil. It's about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Toss that in there. A little bit of onion powder. A little bit of garlic powder. And toss it around. You're gonna have 1 or 2 fly out if you do it this way. Okay. Fire's died down. Don't have to be so scared anymore. Oh, look at those, guys. Look at those. Look at those bones. Yeah. I can't see what you guys are saying, so you're going to have to wait just a minute. Oh, yummy. Look at that. Came right off. Right off. Okay. Okay, so this side, because my flame's so hot right now, I'm gonna leave it on the foil. I'm gonna soak them in barbecue sauce. And I'm gonna put my lid back on. Even right around that aluminum foil. That works fine. Did you guys see that? How good did that look? I didn't cut it in half. You cut off the bottom third, and that's because after they cut asparagus, you need to get it fresh. If it's not fresh, the stem from the bottom up will start to dry out really, really bad. And you want to cut off the bottom third or so. That way you have the fresh top part of the asparagus. So, I'm going to actually, because it's so hot, I'm going to turn my burner down. Actually, I'm going to close my vent. But did you guys see that bone come right off of that? Look at that bone. Look how clean that bone is. In 2 hours. Look how clean that is. That's how you want your rib bones. 2 hours. So, I'm going to close that vent because I want to cut off the air. I want to cool it down. It's a bit hotter than I thought it was going to get, but, you know. So I'm cutting total air off. I'm letting that smoke from those briquettes in that grill. And it's going to surround those ribs and make them even better. So you do that for a few minutes, let that heat cool off. I know I just got it restarted. I wanted it hot, but I didn't want it as hot as it got. Well, if you'd like to see me on something like that, write the show. Send an email to him. You know this guy that does this YouTube channel and blah, blah, blah. You never know. Okay. It's calmed down a little bit. So, a little bit more barbecue sauce on it. I want to get it in that, where that meat, the meat flap is. Meat flap right there. It's going to heat back up because I have the lid off. But I'm going to take my meat fork. Because I don't want that other side to... Oh, wow. Watch this, guys. Watch this. I can't pull it up from that side because look at that. It's just falling apart. I'm gonna have to do it this way. I don't have much foil left, but my fire's getting away from me, guys. I bet y'all thought that was funny, didn't you? No, I'm not burning the ribs. Just giving it some extra flavor. I may have to pull them off and bring them over here. Do it this way. Okay. You got away from me. The grease, you got to be careful. The grease was spilling in and just causing it to... See, that's not even the charcoal. Well, it is down below, but... Okay. Let's retry this. Let that burn down for a second. I guarantee you guys thought that was hilarious, didn't you? Well, some of the meat stuck to that one. There's another bone. They're just falling out. Okay. Okay, that one burned a little on top, but it'll be okay. It's just the very top layer. A little crispy. It'll be okay. I'll eat it. See, on live streams, you never know what's going to exactly happen. You guys get to watch all the funny stuff that goes on. That one's turned out really good. A little dark on one side, but okay. Slathered in barbecue sauce, and that blackness will go away. Okay. Let that cook in there for a minute. And those will be done. Okay, so what do you guys think? I want your opinions and thoughts on that. Okay, so it's cooked long enough. Time to pull them off. Okay. I missed what y'all said. If you said anything, you're not saying anything now, so. Well, to give you guys an idea of how tender, they got to rest for a minute. Okay, so here's my asparagus. This is easy to do and I won't mess this up. I promise, guys. Unless you want to see more flare-ups like that. So you got your asparagus. All you do, got your grill grate going one way. At least I know my grill's nice and hot. Was not expecting that flare up. But you gotta expect the unexpected when cooking with fire. Some of these will fall down into the grates because they're real thin, so you got to keep them long ways. You want to try to get them all individually, kind of separated a little bit. So I'm going to take these inside, that way they don't get too cold before they rest. Like I said, a little crispy on a little bit, but it's just the outer coating, so it's fine. But see how easy that was to pull out? Like I said, you want a little give. I mean, you want a little tug. At the end. Look at that. Talk about tender, guys. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, guys. Okay, so the asparagus doesn't take long. Like I said, you'll have a few drop in and salvage them, do it, but you know. Like I said, you just toss them in olive oil, toss some onion powder, garlic powder on. That's what I do. And put on my scraps, my scrap bowls. Sorry, I was in there enjoying just pulling those bones out. That's when you know ribs are done. When you can just flick them and they pull out. Like I said, you want a little tug to them. Yeah, I had to run in for a minute. I had to take the ribs in. I didn't want them to get too cold. Okay, so I just take a spatula. Oh, this is one of my other tools that my son got me. Hey, Carrie, how are you doing? Sorry, there's sometimes that, I mean, I can't really talk because I'm in the middle of something. I didn't see you. Couldn't look at chat. But this is the asparagus, and it gets a little color to it. Can't really see the color, but it turns a little color, and it'll cook and it'll go limp. A little bit more. Like I said, some will fall into the grill, but if you put too much oil on them, the oil will fall into the grill, and you'll get tons of flare-ups. So just kind of lightly coat them in olive oil. Should be enough for those of us that eat it. This was just one bunch. And that's about the extent. Pretty easy. Nice and steamy. Like I said, your asparagus will get some color on it. It won't be that green, and it'll be kind of limp. And it'll be soft to chew. Really good. So, we'll take you guys inside for just a minute, and then I'm going to have to go because I can't not want to go in and eat these ribs. I'll show you in light and stuff so you guys can see just how good these ribs are. So I'm going to be coming inside for just a second, sweetheart. And I have a mess to clean up out here after dinner. Okay. So, you guys want to see how good these ribs are? These are bones. I'll show you how easy it is to pull these up. There's a good bone sticking out. Another bone. That's a thicker bone right there. That's how you want to be able to pull your bones out. A little bit of meat on the end. That's how you want to be able to take your bones out. This is the thicker bones. That way you know they're done evenly. A little bit of give on the end where the fat cap is. But they come out very clean. No meat on the actual bone. And this is the other rack. That's how you want to be able to pull your bones out. A little bit of meat on that, but that's the spot that kind of burned a little bit, but clean bone. If I can find a... That part's just coming up. I can't... Well, you guys get the idea. I'm going to get going, guys. I appreciate you joining my live stream. I've got to dig into some ribs. They are so calling my name. Yeah. I'm trying to do it one-handed, but if you guys want to send me an email, it's up in the description. If you guys have a little extra and want to be able to keep my channel going, and show a little bit of appreciation, that way you can, you know, let me know you care. I know you guys care anyway because you watch my live stream, but my PayPal is up if you guys want to leave a donation. You know, every penny helps on ingredients and being able to buy stuff to be able to make things. And yeah, send me an email, Mo Man. Yes, you were there the whole time. I appreciate it. Send me an email, and we'll see about next time that you end up coming up to the area. Maybe we can make some ribs again. But yeah, I gotta get going, guys. If you like ribs meaty, and hold on. Oh, trying to do this one-handed is not the easiest part. I'll just do this. I always leave you guys with a bite. And these are some ribs. They're cooked quick. They still have some fat in them, but they're completely done. The fat is the best part of the rib. And just tells you how juicy they are and everything. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up. And I'll see you next time, guys.